Hello everyone, welcome to 3.7, estimate decimal sums and differences. The essential question is, how can you estimate decimal sums and differences? Language of the discipline, which I need you guys to write down, is benchmarks. These are familiar numbers used as a point of reference. So like 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1, 1.25, 1.5, and so on and so forth. Those are numbers that you're going to want to use when you're rounding. So let's go over the steps. Please write all this stuff down. First step is round to the nearest whole number or benchmark, depending on what they ask, and add or subtract. So let's look at example number 1. We see that a singer is recording a CD. The lengths of the 3 songs are 3.4 minutes, 2.78 minutes, and 4.19 minutes. About how much recording time will there be? So I'm going to write down the numbers 3.4, 2.78, and 4.19. And now I'm going to round to the nearest whole number because they're asking how much recording time is there going to be. You know that you have to add all these up to find the recording time. Okay? So before we add, okay, which we'll do down here, we need to round. So in order to round, you need to find the number, which is 3, 2, 4. Then you need to look next door, okay, which is going to be to the right. 4 or under, just ignore. 5 or over, add 1 more. So that's a little chant that I learned. Thought it was really clever. If you don't know it by now, hopefully you do. Okay, find your number, look next door, meaning look to the right. 4 or under, just ignore, meaning it stays the same. 5 or over, add 1 more, meaning you add 1 more. Pretty simple. Okay, so let's look at it and let's see. We're looking at 3. And to the right is 4. That tells the 3, since it's 4 or under, tells the 3 to stay the same, so it's going to stay as 3. Looking here at the 2, the 7 is telling the 2 to move up because that's 5 or over. So 2 is going to move up to a 3. Look at the 4. The 1 is 4 or under, right? Tells the 4 to stay the same, which is 4. Okay? And 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So the answer is 10 minutes. All right? That's the only word problem for example 1. Let's go ahead and go to example 2, because this is where benchmarks come into play. Let's see where we are. All right. So examples 2 and 3 say use benchmarks to estimate. So they're not having us round to the nearest whole number. They're having us use benchmarks. They're saying round to like the nearest benchmark, the one that would be closest to it. Okay? So I know 0.18, like if I had a number line, if I had a number line right here, and I had 0.25, which is 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and 1, well, I know that 0.18 is going to be somewhere between here, 0 and 0.25. Well, think of it like 0.18. Think of it as if we didn't have these decimals. Okay. Let's say this was 50, because that's what it is. That's 0.5 is. It's 50, 75, 100, which is 1.00. Okay. Let's just pretend that exists. All right. So let's just forget that we don't have. Let's just pretend we don't have decimals here. Okay. I'm gonna actually remark it though, because we actually do have decimals. If we just took this as 25, 50, 75, 100, then 0.18 would be 18. Well, 18 is a lot closer to 25 than 0. So I'm going to round 18 to 0.25. Now, if we're looking at 0.43, that's going to be somewhere between 0.25 and 0.5, or 0.50, 50. Pretend the decimals don't exist again. 43 is a lot closer to 50 than 25. So I'm going to round 0.43 to 0.5. And now doing that, I can add 0.5 plus 0.25. Okay, any blank spaces add zeros. Okay, and now we add 0 plus 5 is 5, 5 plus 2 is 7. Bring your decimal down, 0 plus 0 is 0. And my answer is 0.75. Okay, let's do example number 3. Use benchmarks to estimate. So we're going to do that once again. We're going to use the benchmarks. So, like if I had the same number line, okay, I have 0, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1. Well, 0.76 is very close to 0.75. Okay, so I'm going to round it down to 0.75. And 0.22 is very close to 0.25, so I'm going to round it up to 0.25. And now we subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0, 7 minus 2 is 5. Bring your decimal down, 0 minus 0 is 0. Rounding, it would be 0.50. Okay, guys, so today you're going to be rounding things to the nearest whole number or to the nearest benchmark. They're going to tell you which to do, but make sure you do that rounding and add or subtract. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. And any questions, make sure you write them down.